There are some things that money can't buy: a fit body, a peaceful mind, a house full of love. But for everything else, man, money helps. And let's be real, we all want more money. So how do we get it? Well, I know of two ways. The first way is to inherit it, but the second way, the far more fun way, is to create value for the world, to capture some of that value for ourselves and then store it in the form of money, which we can use in the future. And for most of us, that comes from having a strong and successful career. That's how we make the most money. But it's not just that. There's a few ingredients that we need to get right. And I had a conversation in my early 20s that completely changed my perspective on this. I must have been 22 years old. I'm working in finance, and between my girlfriend and I, we're making decent money for 20-year-olds. But the thing was, we never had money, and now we did. And somehow, every month, it would seem to just slip through our hands like grains of sand, and we'd be left there using next month's paycheck to pay off last month's credit card bill. It was not good. But something was coming up. It was different. We were going to have the annual bonus, the big lump sum that was going to repay all our sins and allow us to invest in the future we wanted. And I had it all mapped out in my spreadsheet. We're going to go on this holiday. We're going to buy these sneakers. But most importantly, I was going to buy an engagement ring because I wanted to propose to Lexi and make her my wife. So I'm excited because I feel like I have these things. I'm spreadsheet rich. And I get called into the room with the HR team and my manager, and I get given the news. And I'm grateful. And I say thank you. And I walk back to my desk. And then it hits that it was 1/3 of what I was expecting. And to be honest, I should have been grateful with anything. I was there to learn from great mentors and get experience, but I felt like I deserved this bonus. I'd earned it. And almost like a wave of reality, it just crashed and just took away all those things I'd planned for. I started crossing out these different items and deleting rows and just questioning where to go from here. I asked my manager, could we go for a walk? I needed to understand what went wrong. And I asked him, I said, man, I've never worked harder in my life. Like, how can this happen? I've given this role everything. He said, Andy, listen up. For you to make the biggest bonus here or even the most money in your career, 3 things need to happen. The first thing is you need to crush it as an individual. Because if we hire 2 people and one person comes in and creates problems and destroys value and is mediocre, and another person comes in and creates value, solves problems, and is excellent, who do you think is going to get rewarded? I was like, the second person. He's like, that's right. But it's not just that, because it's also about the team. It doesn't matter how good we are as individuals, the team needs to win. And you've seen that Netflix documentary about the Bulls. Man, it hits so hard. When Michael Jordan joined the NBA, he was rookie of the year, crushed it, got tons of buckets. But every time they got to the playoffs, they'd get swept by the Boston Celtics. They'd get bullied by Detroit Pistons. And it wasn't until he added Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman with Phil Jackson as the coach that they actually started playing as a team, started getting to the playoffs, started winning those championships. So we've got those 2 ingredients, the individual and the team. The third thing is the company. Now, we were a public company, and public companies have visible shareholders, but in reality, all companies have shareholders. And if you're a shareholder of a company and the company's losing, it's getting beat up by competitors, it's not hitting its numbers, it's losing money, but the team is making big bonuses, how would that make you feel? Yeah, not good. And that was the third thing. He said, man, the company needs to win. But when we get those 3 things right, and it will happen in time, where you crush an individual, the team does well, and the company does well, man, that's where we can have these extreme outcomes and lightning in a bottle. And that really stuck with me because the last 15 years, I've seen it. I've seen that actually become true, where people have been in the right place at the right time with the right work ethic and passion, and they've got those 3 things right. And it's like putting a rocket on the back of their career and done extremely well. And it's so great to see. But what it's taught me is if we're not in that zone of excellence where we're doing great as an individual and the team's winning and the company's winning, we need to figure out where can we go to make that true. Not just for weeks or for months, but for years, hopefully decades, because when that happens, man, the upside is limitless. If you enjoyed this, drop a comment in the notes below, and I'll see you on the next episode. Yee-hoo!